Today I'm giving you 5 tips for painting your home interior. I'm painting my entire house this week, but before you paint yours, there's 5 things you need to know. One of them is something that almost nobody talks about, and it can completely change how your paint turns out. I've got the best hacks. It's gonna make it so much easier and so much better. Stick with me. We got a lot of painting to do, so let's get started. Here's a free tip. Carry a stool with you. I have been working my way through this house room by room, and before I could start painting, obviously everything had to come out. I got this. This is not a painting tip, but I have some used surf prep pad sanders, and I'm gonna put these under my furniture to help them slide. Make sure the sandpaper is up. And with everything out of the way, let's get into tip number 1. And this one completely changed the way I tackle a big paint project. We are gonna go big. I've learned if you're gonna do a big job, you have to stop using a small job setup. Normally, if I'm painting one room, grabbing a gallon of paint and a regular roller setup is totally fine. But I'm not painting one room, and a lot of times you aren't either. I am working my way through a huge portion of my house, and I realized pretty quickly that I need to start treating this like the big project that it really is. I'm painting several rooms in my house the same color, so instead of buying individual gallons, I bought a 5-gallon bucket. This will help with color consistency as well. And if you've ever tried to stir 5 gallons of paint with one of those little wooden sticks, do not. I bought this oversized paint mixer that attaches right to my drill, and it mixes the entire bucket for me. So much easier. I even put this 5-gallon bucket on the rolling dolly, so you can see that instead of carrying this ridiculously heavy bucket around with me, I can just roll it along with me. Such a big help. And then I went with probably my favorite upgrade, the roller. It seems like such a small change, but when you're painting this much square footage, covering more wall with every pass adds up really fast. So I'm going to be doing fewer passes, covering these big walls so much faster, and honestly, I don't know that I'd ever go back to a standard roller for a project this size. And of course, if you're going to use a big roller, you're going to need a bigger paint tray. I found this oversized tray that fits perfectly, and what I really love are the disposable liners that go with it. They fit right inside, so when I'm finished painting, I'm not standing at the sink trying to scrub out a giant paint tray. I can just let the paint dry, pull the liner out, and toss it. And anything that makes cleanup easier after I've spent hours painting is a win for me. I will be sure to link the roller, the tray, and the liners, and any other products I use during this video in the description. Go big. All of those little time savers really start to add up. And while we're talking about saving time, that brings me to tip number 2, because I have learned that sometimes the cheapest option doesn't actually save you money. Tip 2 is buy good quality paint. Here's something I've learned after painting a lot of rooms and a lot of furniture. Sometimes trying to save money on paint can actually end up costing you more. I am obviously a budget girl. You know I love thrifting, DIYing, and flipping whatever I can do to save money. But being on a budget does not mean I automatically choose the cheapest option anymore, especially when it comes to paint. I have used less expensive paint before thinking I was saving money. Then I end up needing primer or multiple coats of paint. It takes up way more time. Once you've painted the same wall 2 or 3 times, that cheaper gallon does not feel quite so cheap anymore. Now I look at the whole cost of the project, not just the price on the can. That's why one of the things I'm learning as I work my way through this house is that being budget conscious isn't always about buying the cheapest thing. It's about knowing where to save and where quality is worth paying for. That is becoming my philosophy for a lot more than just paint. I started looking at my whole home this way. I love saving money by thrifting and DIYing where I can because it gives me room in my budget to invest in quality where it really matters. And that actually brings me to my mini makeover that I want to share with you. And that feeling perfectly fits today's sponsor. Thank you to Quince for sponsoring this video. My bedroom is the next room I'm going to make over. I want to start with the most important part of my bedroom, the bed. Creating a beautiful home on a budget does not mean that you have to sacrifice quality. I would much rather thrift and DIY the things that I can so that I can invest in the things that actually are used, touched, appreciated every single day. This is what I really like about Quince. They offer high quality essentials at affordable prices. They're working directly with top tier manufacturers, cutting out the middleman. Quality without the traditional markup. I chose their bamboo sheet and bamboo duvet cover. I love how soft they are. For another layer of texture, bergamot basil room spray. It makes the whole room feel finished. So good. I'm in like some bougie hotel. I'm actually wearing 2 more Quince pieces, the Bella Stretch wide leg jeans and the lightweight cotton cashmere relaxed sweater tee. If you're trying to create a home and a wardrobe that feel elevated without spending a fortune, check out Quince using the link in my description or scan the QR code on the screen. Quince also offers free shipping and 365-day returns. I'm in love. Okay, tip number 3, stop taping everything. Now, don't hear me say stop prepping. Prep is amazing. Cover your carpet, protect your floors, move what needs to be moved. Absolutely protect the things you don't want paint on. But when it comes to taping off every ceiling edge, baseboard, or other surface that you can easily wipe clean, I have learned that sometimes tape actually creates way more work than it saves. Instead, I have found that if you use a good angled brush and take your time cutting in, you can get a beautiful line. And if you get a little paint somewhere, you can keep a damp rag nearby and wipe it off while it's still wet. There are definitely places where painter's tape makes sense, and I still use it when I need it, but I don't automatically tape every single edge anymore. Protect what needs protecting, but don't spend an hour taping something that you could have cut in 5 minutes. And speaking of cutting in, how you cut in brings me to tip number 4. Don't cut in the entire room first. I used to think I was being efficient by going around the entire room, cutting in every edge, every corner, around every doorway, and then coming back with my roller. But what I've learned is that I get a much better finish when I work in sections. I will cut in along the ceiling, corners, and trim in one section, and then I'll come right behind it with my roller while that paint is still wet. That way, the paint I'm rolling onto the wall can blend into the paint that I just brushed on, instead of having this completely dry border around the room. Cut a section, roll a section, cut a section, roll a section. So it's a really simple change, but I have found that it helps everything blend together and gives me an even more consistent finish. So don't feel like you have to cut in the entire room before you're allowed to start rolling. Cut it, roll it, keep moving. And our last tip, which is definitely last but not least, because it is one of my favorite tips and it makes such a big difference. Before you put the room back together and call it finished, there's one last thing I want you to look at. I want you to check your walls in really good lighting. Lighting makes a huge difference when you're painting. A wall can look completely finished from one angle, and then the light hits it differently, and suddenly you see a spot or a splotch that you have missed. You may find an area that needs another pass or somewhere where the coverage is just a little bit thin. I actually use my studio lights. I try to use natural light anytime I can, but if I don't have natural light available, like in the hallway, I use my studio lights because I already have them. But you definitely don't need studio lights. You can use a bright work light, a spotlight, or really any strong light. If you have a really good flashlight, even that will help. You can just use it when you're moving around the room. And I do not just point it straight at the wall. I try to move it around. I try to let the light hit the wall from different angles. And that's when you will start seeing things that you couldn't see under your normal overhead lighting. I would much rather find those spots now than clean everything up and then notice them 3 days later. Now that the painting is finally done and looks beautiful, I might add, with all the interior painting tips and tricks that I've shared, I'm moving on to my bedroom, and I have been collecting thrifted pieces for this makeover that are basically going to determine the entire design. That includes one antique hutch that I am about to use in a way that I don't think you're expecting. Make sure you're subscribed because that's where we're headed next, and I can't wait to see you there. Thanks so much for being here with the Flippers Guide. Let's go see the potential.
Tight budgets, timeless designs, that's how you make it shine. The Flipper's Guide, make it last.